Something just fell. Oh, what's going on, everybody? How we doing today? Yeah, I'm kind of trying to get everything together. I got home a little bit later than I typically would on a night like tonight on a Friday, and because of that, I didn't really have a chance to like really like prepare the stream. Like 10 minutes ago. 10 minutes ago is when I scheduled the stream, and I'm still kind of trying to put it together. Milk Hunter 69, I saw what you said on Twitter, and I was like, huh, that's weird. Did I hit the wrong one? Instead of hitting my intro slide, which is that, of course, I hit the chilling slash general slide, which is what you see before you now. And yeah, so there's that. There's that, you know. But what's going on, Milk Hunter 69 watching on Twitter? What's going on, OP? What's going on, Zachary Vered? How we doing today? Hope we're doing okay. It is a very good Friday. Very good Friday. All right. It is indeed Good Friday, and as a good Catholic boy, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention that it's Good Friday and that this Sunday is going to be Easter. I didn't know it, but I guess Easter is considered to be more important in Eastern Orthodoxy. And Christmas is considered to be the more important holiday in um, real Christianity and Catholicism. Um, it is what it is. They're both extremely important. They are probably the most important pieces of time in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ's life. And it's important that we venerate Christ on days like this. It's important that we remember the sacrifice for us on the cross, which is what Easter commemorates, is the sacrifice on the the cross, as well as the resurrection, um, that would ultimately vindicate Christ, that would prove to everybody, even the people who were like, oh, I don't know about this Jesus of Nazareth guy. It would ultimately prove that yes, he was God's son on earth, sent to absolve us of our sins. He was the Messiah. So, um, yeah, I mean, I hope you guys have a good Easter. Okay, I hope you enjoy your egg hunts and stuff like that. There's some sects of Christianity that are like, no, egg hunts are pagan. This is pagan, that's pagan. I didn't know it for a while, but I guess some cousins of mine didn't celebrate Halloween growing up, and they didn't celebrate it because their mother, who was not directly related to us, she was my aunt by marriage. My aunt nonetheless, but she came from a different family, obviously. She grew up in a sect of Christianity. I don't know which one, that believed that like when you celebrate Halloween, you are you are basically worshiping the devil, right? Um, and the crazy, well, I guess I wouldn't call it crazy. The thing is, like, I actually understand and I believe that to a certain degree, but I think what a lot of it comes down to is intent combined with how far you're willing to take it in the first place, right? Like if you put on a devil mask and you don't intend for that to be like a worshiping of the devil, I think that's about half the battle right there. Now, there is more to it than that. Like, for instance, I do believe that you know, you see like Madonna and Lady Gaga at their concerts and stuff like that, and like not to go into like not to go into schizo Illuminati guy territory or anything like that, but I do believe that like rituals can take place in front of people at these concerts, and the entire point of having them at that concert is to make everybody secretly complicit in what is going on in front of them, right? Um, I do believe in that. I do believe that's a real thing, right? But like overall, I don't think Halloween in and of itself is satanic. I think it's more about the it's more about the intent a lot of the time, you know. That's something where like I kind of disagree with Wendigoon's line of thought. Not that I like know Wendigoon like that or anything, but you know, I've seen him on PKA and he's talked about it, and I've also listened to him talk about Faith the Unholy Trinity, a video game that I played for Halloween last year, and he talked about how he doesn't actually believe possession can happen against your will. He thinks that it's something that you have to go looking for, that you have to invite in. And I actually kind of sort of agree with that to a certain sense, but I don't think that he is covering all the bases there. And I know he's somewhat of a biblical scholar, especially compared to me. At the very least, he's a Sunday school teacher for his I believe he's Southern Baptist. I could be wrong. He probably knows the Bible a lot better than I do. But if there's one thing I do know, it's that Satan was jealous of us. Lucifer was jealous of us as God's greatest creation. God called us his greatest creation, man his greatest creation, and he ordered everybody in heaven to bow to us. Um, and Satan said no. And the reason he said no is because he felt that he was better than us. He felt that he was not he didn't feel that he should be bowing to us because we didn't deserve that kind of like recognition from him. And one thing led to another, and now here we are, right? Now, when it comes to Satan, because of these facts, I don't just think it's a situation where he's always trying to tempt people. I think there's plenty of situations where his version of fun is like, hey, let's go and let's infest this body. Let's infest this body with demonic possession. You know, um let's trick this person. Let's go into somebody who is not as close to God as they probably could or should be, and let's fuck with them, right? Let's make them scared. Let's cause bad things to happen to them, etc., etc. I believe that is part of it, just because of the fact that if you look at the story behind it, you see that Satan, Lucifer, whatever you want to call him, is a very vindictive guy. He's someone who, um, if he can't have you, then nobody can. Is kind of what it is. It's kind of a weird way to put it, but it is kind of the way that I'm trying to think about explaining it. Is if he can't make you stray from God, well, he can try and make your life hell. He could try and make your life shitty in one way or another, you know, and he might be able to trick you. And that's kind of what I was talking about, is like there's so many people today who like they think they're being holy, they think they're being like perfect Christians and things like that, but really they're not. There's like some aspect of them or some aspect of things that they do that go directly against what was preached by either Jesus or just, you know, different pieces of the Bible and things like that. Um, you see people who um like there could be tons of things, you know, and I'm guilty of this too, right? Like lust, right? Lust. You see people who they go to church every Sunday, but then they turn around and they end up like going to swinger parties and shit like that. I'm not saying there's tons of people who are like that, but like stranger things have happened. You see people who are like that where they think that they're on good terms. They think that they're right with God, but really they're not. You know, they're not doing what they're supposed to do the way that they're supposed to be doing it. Um, and because of that, they may think, "Oh, I'm a good person. I'm a good Christian. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God." But they're not as impervious to that infestation, that demonic possession or demonic influence as they might think. I hope it's making sense what I'm saying right now. I kind of went off on a tangent, you know. I went from talking about Easter to talking about Halloween to like, oh, here's how I think demonic possession works. It probably wasn't the cleanest, but to sum it up, basically, Easter, great holiday, obviously, right? One of the most important holidays in Christianity, regardless of what denomination you may be. The egg hunts, I don't think is something that like is demonic or satanic or pagan or anything like that. I think it's just a fun thing you can do with your kids. And then I went into the whole Halloween thing, like how I don't think Halloween is inherently satanic. And then I talked about how I do actually believe that like if you do it the wrong way, you are opening yourself up. And a lot of people do things the wrong way today without even realizing that it's the wrong way. They don't realize that you're not supposed to be doing certain things, and because of that, it makes it easier for a demon to have some form of influence over their life, whether it's a direct possession, which is exceedingly rare, obviously, but or if it's a situation where it's like, you know, you keep smoking, drinking, you get addicted to something. Now you're falling deeper and deeper into degeneracy, which includes a bunch of different kinds of sins. You're stealing to try and support your habit. You know, you're selling your body to try and support your habit. That's theft and lust, depending on the situation, adultery, right? I think those are situations that like it's not as simple as just like, yeah, sure, whatever demons are around, you got free reign. It's not it's not just that. It can't be just that. But I also do think that a lot of it comes down to intent, where it's like just because I put on a mask, it doesn't mean I'm like trying to emulate or worship or give any kind of respect or reverence to any satanic forces. You know, I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Excuse me. Madden Williams says Christ is king. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pow Envy and I need a course. Hey, Richie, I'm down. You know, fucking. Um, I'll I'll hit me up or I'll hit you up. You know. I don't know when Jacob's gonna be around here next. I don't know if that's in the cards for him. Whether it's for a fish tank related thing or if he's just like, hey, let's go visit. Let's go visit our pals in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. But I am down. You know, just we can figure that out. We can figure that out, Mister 99. My parents used to beat me because I wanted to go trick or treating. They said it was witchery. Damn, that's pretty crazy, David Hideo. You know, um, yeah, like I'm obviously no blah blah blah. I'm obviously no biblical scholar, right? Excuse me. Oh fuck. I'm obviously no biblical scholar. Okay, I couldn't tell you exactly. Okay. All right. Cool. And then I gotta go here. Sorry. I gotta finish shilling my shit. I gotta finish with the shilling. Gotta get some shilling in. Bada bing. Bada boom. All right. There we go. Anyway, I flip flop. Or oh fuck, I forgot what I was even saying. You were talking about how your parents. Oh yeah. I flip flop between you have to live in the world that you're in and you have to reject the world that you're in. And there's always going to have to be some degree of rejecting the world that you live in, right? And that's where like the Evolian that's one of the reasons why Evola resonated with me so much is because even though he's an occultist and things like that, a lot of the things that he has to say you can see in Christianity, and I do think that he definitely took what he felt worked from Christianity and kind of put that into his own form of traditionalism, right? But um, regardless, like you have to be in the world and not of the world, right? You are not meant to be like living as a hedonist, or a nihilist or anything like that. You should not solely be living for the physical, solely be living for your own gratification, whether it's instant or whether it's delayed, right? It doesn't matter. You should not be sitting here as a materialist. Materialism is bad in whatever form it may come in, but there is a certain amount of like, you have to eat, you have to drink, and who says you're a bad guy because you drink like a few too many beers every now and again, right? So it's kind of a situation where it's like, I want to live in accordance with God's law, and I got to get back to church for one thing. That's one of those things that, for if not this year, then next year I'm gonna try to make sure I can do once I kind of unfuck my life. But like, um you have to live in accordance with God's law, but also like, we are imperfect. We are always going to fail, and we're never going to live up to God, because we could not be God, because God is infallible and we are beneath him in every way. Even as God's greatest creation, we are still beneath him. We will never be even close to equals to him. But talking about that, you know how it is. Um, Overall, like, I don't want to be someone who is gonna like make my kids into weird freaks. Um, After all, God did say, "Render unto Caesar what is Caesar's," and I don't think he just meant taxation either. Does that mean like you should be going to Roman orgies? No, no, of course not. Um, that obviously not, right? But um, although I think the Roman orgies are probably better than what the Pharisees had going on at the time. But completely and completely different conversation to be had there. You see, and this, like, I'm having a hard time just like forming a coherent sentence. I have to stop every 2 seconds because I'm thinking like of a new thing, and I'm like second guessing myself and stuff like that. Basically, right? Um, call Bert. He's asking you to. I don't have Bert's number. I couldn't call him even if I wanted to. But yeah, the bottom line is like, I want to live in accordance with God's law, and hopefully not make my sons or daughters. Who am I kidding? I'm only gonna have sons. I'm only shooting sons out of there. No, but I want to make sure my kids are not like weird freaks like that. There's a certain amount of not fitting in with the norm that is like okay, that's a good thing, right? Having compassion the way that like a lot of normies don't have, that they claim to have. Like iDubbbz was a perfect example of having fake compassion. That, not to keep harping on Content Cop, but like, that Content Cop with Ethan, that was him like taking out his frustration on Ethan, not considering what Ethan was going through at the time, finding a way to pass the buck and make it about something that it was never about in the first place, and then trying to turn around. I still haven't watched the rest of the video, but to my understanding, basically he made Hassan and other people say something nice about Ethan, which is like total female backhanded compliment bullshit, where it's like, haha, I just got done shitting on you, but I like your shoes, ha 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 ha, yeah, pussy. Like, that's what that was. At least that's what it sounded like. And then apparently he had like a fucking, he threw in a therapy thing where he was like crying about how his wife was being made fun of on the internet justifiably. Um, and like that is him after he spends an hour absolutely shitting on somebody relentlessly, unapologetically, and with zero remorse or like thought as to why Ethan was upset in the first place. He's trying to pretend like he has empathy. He's trying to pretend like he has compassion. Um, Jeez, I completely took a left turn here. I didn't even want to talk about that. The bottom line is, there's a certain amount of not fitting in that I want my kids to have, and that is like actually having functioning brains that can think in more than just one or two dimensions. Because a lot of people are only one or two dimensional thinkers, and they don't realize it, and you can't get them to realize it because it's like a one or two dimensional being trying to conceptualize the third dimension. you know, even if even if you had a two-dimensional plane, because that's technically what a three-dimensional plane is an infinite amount of two-dimensional planes stacked on top of each other, right? We're getting into fucking physics now. And like pop culture, like Reddit physics. Like I don't think I'm smart for knowing this. I watched a YouTube video years ago. That's how I know this shit. If you were to fucking like say there's a two-dimensional plane here and I stick my finger through it, they would only be able to see like a small sliver of my finger. They wouldn't be able to understand or conceptualize what the rest of my finger looks like. What the rest of my fingers look like in that situation, you know. And that's how a lot of one and two dimensional thinkers are. Is it's like not being, yeah, perfect example, it's not being able to rotate the apple inside of your own head, right? You can't get somebody who is incapable of doing that to conceptualize it, because if they could, they just wouldn't do it. Or trying to ask a blind person, someone who was born blind, what the color blue looks like, they'll literally be like, I don't even know what that is, you know. I couldn't describe it if I had the words to, you know. Um, but yeah, like I want my kids to fit in enough as to where they can hide their power level and they can interact with people, you know. That's something that I had a hard time with, and I still have a hard time with, if I'm being honest with you, is I kind of get in my own head a little bit about certain situations. Like that's what happened with Nick Rochefort. I didn't think Nick Rochefort liked me. I still am not 100% sure. Hold up one sec. Yeah, we're in the piss zone here. I still don't think Nick Rochefort likes me very much, right? And the reason why is because the couple of times that I met him, I kind of got in my own head where I was like, oh, fuck, this is Nick Rochefort. And I kind of thought to myself, like, oh, Nick Rochefort, what do you want to talk to me about? And sure enough, I stop him. I don't stop him. I'm just like, what's up, Nick? How's it going? Haha. And then he stops and he tries to have a conversation with me. And I was so caught off guard by that I like froze up. And I was like, oh, yeah, 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 oh, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah. And I think he probably thought, what's this guy's problem? You know? Um, I want to be able to avoid the mistakes that were made with me, as to where I became a little bit socially awkward in that way with my kids, but I don't want to remove the intuitiveness, the um fuck, I'm trying to I don't want to I don't want to remove the other things that I have that are good, if that makes sense, you know. My ability to kind of like keep myself occupied inside my own head, my ability to sit still and not panic all the fucking time, my ability to be able to read a person's like um intentions, read a person's intentions just from the look in their eye, and like the way they hold them, the way they carry themselves and things like that, you know. But like again, I'm kind of making like I'm making points that I want to make, but I'm making them badly, you know. Might as well just move on. Idubbbz is such an anti-Semite. Oh yes, oh yes indeed, you know. God is great. If hell couldn't be a thing, the world would be perfect. um I I don't know. I mean, I think the only thing that's perfect is God, is kind of the thing. And hell has to exist, because at the end of the day, um, there is good and evil. Just checked. Bird is not requesting you. Requesting me. Fuck him. He did that with Airsoft Fatty too, says Quidkins. Oh yeah, 100%. You know, like the whole point of the Airsoft Fatty thing, and the whole point of all those documentaries was supposed to be, get a load of this fucking guy, huh? What a freak! I'm laughing at him, and he doesn't even realize, and you're all laughing with me, ha ha ha. That's what that was, you know. And like that is a situation where it's like, man, you know, um, content cops one thing, commentary YouTubers making fun of people on the other side of a computer screen, that's one thing. But when you're like trying to form a bond with somebody as to where they will allow you to come to their house and film them in their house in intimate moments with their friends and family, their loved ones. Um, to be willing to do that, there's only one kind of person that I've ever seen who would do that sort of thing, and it is national level journalists. I have met MSNBC people a couple of times. One of the times they were following me around for something. Maybe I'll tell that story one day, but for now, that's I'm not comfortable talking about it. And it was a documentary on HIV. No jokes, but the other time was kind of recently. They came to my gym for something, right? There's a bit of a scandal going on in the town that my gym is in, and they did some interviews at the gym as well as with my coach. I don't know when that's gonna air, right? But if you ever speak to these people, if you ever see these people, you feel like you're talking to a fucking insect. You feel like you're talking to an alien or something like that. Just people who something went wrong in their lives. Maybe they had empathy, maybe they had a sense of shame once. Maybe they had the ability to think, maybe I shouldn't do this once, but that has since gone. And now anything goes, and they're just it's all about the scoop. It's all about the big scoop. We got the scoop. We're scooping over here. We're scooping. We're getting scooped over here, bro. Fucking, we got it. We got all of them. We got every scoop in town. Fucking, and it's such a weird fucking thing. And if you meet someone like that, you just know immediately, like, yo, I never want to be around this guy. I never want to be around this guy ever again. And that is kind of what I like when iDubbbz was doing his documentary shit. That's kind of what he became for a little while. That's what he was like that's the like I saw the same type of shit from these national level journalists and things like that, you know. Um, but yeah, people who think Halloween is satanic also typically think anything Catholic is satanic. Yeah, that's another thing too, you know. Like it's ridiculous how a lot of Protestants, they break off from the Catholic Church just to complain about the Catholic Church all the time. You know, even Eastern Orthodox is like the original Protestant, if we're being honest here. And all you hear from Ortho bros is like, "Oh, but what about this?" And it's like, fucking shut up, you know, fucking. It's just so weird where it's like, hey, it's one thing if you're trying to it's one thing if you're trying to evangelize to people, right? It's one thing if you're trying to bring somebody specific over to your side. But a lot of people, including the Eastern Orthodox dudes, they aren't sitting here like, hey man, here's how we do things. We do this that way because we think it's the best way to do it because that's what God said. Um, Jesus, he said this and he did that and he wanted it done this way. So that's the way we do it. It's, well, you think this. That's what happens with a lot of like Protestants and what's it called? Fucking Eastern Orthodox. And that's one of the reasons why like they can sit there and bitch and moan about anything and everything, right? And Catholics have their reasons for doing the things their way, but like from the standpoint of I'm just some rube who doesn't know the Bible or know Christianity as well as someone like maybe even Wendigoon would, right? Um, it is something where I thought about it and I was like, no, I think that when I go to church, I'm going to go to a Catholic church because one, that is what I know. But then two, every other fucking church, every other denomination, it's not that they're like a serious denomination. It's that they're just like the anti-Catholic denomination that just ends up being what they become eventually, you know. And any conversation with one of those guys is like, uh, where does it say priests can't get married in the Bible, huh? Where does it say? And the Pope, The Pope isn't God. The Pope isn't Christ. You know, like it's always some shit like that. Fucking it was never about, hey, this is the way God wanted it. It was always, hey, I'm pissed off at the Pope because he did this. Because he did this and I want that, so I'm mad at the Pope. It's like so weird, you know. How many times do you go to mascot? Right now, zero. I would go Christmas and Easter, but I feel that that would be disrespectful if I'm being honest with you. I know there's people out there that would definitely disagree. They would say that it's better to be there 2 times a year than none at all, and I can understand the thought process behind that, right? However, um, I personally would rather commit. I would rather commit. I would rather not be like, all right, here on Christmas, peace, everybody. See you in 6 months. See you in 8 months. See you in however many months. How many months from December till April? So, yeah, 6. No, no, fuck, 5. Yeah, 5 months. Five. Damn it, 5. Anyway, um, but yeah, Hassan didn't even say anything good about Ethan. Yeah, oh yeah, you know, um, man, shit's ridiculous, dude. It's so clear that it's just a career move from Ethan as well. Not Ethan, excuse me. Ian, Ethan and Ian. You know, they sound just similar enough. It's so clearly a career move, and it's like so stupid to see. It's kind of frustrating to see. You know, I don't like seeing shit like that. Like I'm no fan of Ethan Klein. I don't know anybody who is like a fan of Ethan Klein nowadays. The guy has gone off the deep end. Um, and yeah, that's just that, you know. And his wife has come out of her shell more, which means she has more of a personality, which means there's more of her to hate, right? But like I actually genuinely feel for them because I didn't even realize, but like they were getting CPS called on them, and all those people in that video were laughing and joking about it and shit like that. They're getting CPS called on them specifically because they are not like siding with Hamas, you know. Um, and it's just it's such a disgusting thing to see happen to anybody. I don't care that it's Ethan and Ela Klein. I don't care what race, religion, creed they are. I don't care what like their political beliefs are. You know, fact of the matter is, like, I feel like I could probably be in a room with Ethan Klein without wanting to strangle him completely and totally. You know, he might be like a bit weird, and he might have this issue where his filter is a little fucked, but also that might partially be because that's kind of his job is to go on podcasts and be provocative now. He's kind of like a shock jock, if anything, at this point. Um, but regardless, like I don't care that it's Ethan and Ela Klein. Like to have your son attacked like that is such a disgusting thing, and it's like fuck, man. Well, like imagine in today's climate, right? It used to be the right, not all of the right, but like a lot of the right used to be like anti-Israel, anti-Jew, like literally anti-Jew. And now even the left is anti-Israel, and they're using dog whistles for anti-Jewish stuff. You know, they call them Zionists and things like that. Fucking, which again, like 5 years ago, you only ever heard like far right wing people talking about Zionism. Now you got the left talking about Zionism. Um, like that they had no friends. Bottom line, they had no friends, and it's just like you know that's a lot of people to be coming after them, and there's a lot of people who are skeptical of them at best. So for the point that I was trying to make, because I was just thinking about how much times have changed. The point that I was trying to make was that with people agreeing with and wanting to stick up for the Kleins, it really shows you just how wrong iDubbbz is, because there's people who don't like Ethan Klein because he's like kind of a shithead, and then you have tons of people who don't like Ethan Klein because he's Jewish. It's just a fact of the matter, Excuse me. Ethan would wink you to death. Dude, he would fucking outblink me in a heartbeat. I couldn't keep up, bro. I couldn't fucking keep up. Um, Whimsical Masshole says I was born reddish. Ah, yes, of course. All right. I don't know what I'm gonna do tonight, honestly, guys. I didn't really plan for this. Like I said, I got home and then like I waited 10 minutes before I started this stream. You know, so I apologize for that. It would have been nice to have something planned, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to stream tomorrow. I might stream tomorrow, and maybe that'll be like the official Easter stream or something like that. I don't know. Maybe we'll see, but I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to. Um, you know, so oh, excuse me. Yes, sir. Cherry Blossoms Friday night chilling. So yeah, I mean, I can play some AOE. I can play some Postal. What one in the chat if you want. One in the chat, okay? One in the chat if you want AOE. Two in the chat if you want Postal 2. All right? I don't know which one to play. I don't know which one to play. But what's going on, Psychologica? Happy to see you streaming again. Yep, I never stopped streaming, my friend. Fucking I just fell off hard, and I was never on in the first place. So like I fell off of falling off, you know. I felt really fortunate at one point to be getting 400 to 600 views on my streams, and I think through a combination of different things, so now like I'll get 150 to 200 views on my streams now, total. And it is what it is. Like I'm not doing it because I'm like I need to get those views. If I was doing it because I needed to get views, I would have quit a long time ago. Fucking, I'm doing it because I like it. Quirt says 0. We just got BTFO'd. Cherry Blossom said 2. So right now it's down to either Postal 2 or nothing. Quirt picked the secret third option, which is to put 0, which means we do nothing. We just sit here chilling the entire time. Do your switching to the Oblivion remake? Do you mean like am I going to switch to that? When is that coming out? Because I never knew anything about it until like sort of recently. I'm not too sure what the deal with that is. When is that coming out? Oh man, excuse me. I like some of the spin-off too, like Age of Mythology. Yeah, I didn't love Age of Mythology. I enjoyed playing it with friends, but like the online play, there was something to be desired with me. Especially because like at that time I was not playing hyper aggressive. I was not playing fast-paced games, and AOM definitely rewards a faster paced gameplay. So that can be a little bit annoying. That can be a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Now I've gotten a lot better at AoE, although I've been on a bit of a cold streak lately, I'll be honest with you. But like I'm a lot quicker with it. Supposed to shock drop on Monday. Okay, yeah. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Ooh, bruh, Civ is the better version of AoE. I've never played any of the Civ games. I'm very slow to embrace new games, if I'm being honest with you. Even if it's like a classic game that everybody says good things about, I'm like, nah. I literally like in order to start playing the Fallout series and the Elder Scrolls series, I had to have a friend bring his copy over, sit me down in front of my Xbox, put it in, and be like, just fucking play it. He was like, look, you're gonna like it. Just give it a shot. I'm gonna let you borrow it. Just play it. And sure enough, I fell in love with Fallout 3. And then he had me play Oblivion a little bit after that, and I had a great time with that. And I would end up buying both of them for myself. And I became a pretty big Fallout fan. Elder Scrolls too, but especially Fallout. Warcraft 3 is my go-to, but love AoE. Is Warcraft an RTS game? I wouldn't know. I know like World of Warcraft and then Warcraft were like kind of related or something like that. Like I think Warcraft spawned World of Warcraft in some direct or indirect way or something like that. Fish Tank fans live Fallout 3. What are you saying? Are you saying fish? Are you saying Fish Tank fans are playing Fallout 3, or do you mean love Fallout 3? Excuse me, love Fallout 3. Snurf G. Smart moron says W friend W smart moron. What is your opinion about the Oblivion remaster? I haven't played it, so I couldn't tell you. Some people were saying they hope that they don't take out some of the wonkiness, and I think that's part of what made Oblivion so great was a little bit of that wonkiness. But if they upgraded the graphics, if they even upgraded some of the fighting, I don't think it would be too bad. But knowing how modern game companies are, they're not just going to upgrade graphics and do a little bit of an upgrade on fighting or spell casting or anything like that. They're going to upgrade all of the wrong things, and then maybe we'll get like a finishing move or two that's going to get repetitive after the first 5 times you do it on somebody. Um, and yeah, so there's that. So like it's not like I sit around thinking about the Oblivion remake all day. But I'm also not getting my hopes up. I'm definitely not getting my hopes up. Warcraft 3 is RTS, but with light RPG elements like hero units that level up. That's pretty sick. Um, one game I want to do a playthrough of, but it's probably going to be a long one, is Fallout Tactics, because that was such a fun game to play. It's one of those games where like each level takes like fucking 30 to 45 minutes to complete, and you will get lost in it. You will like sit down and it'll be like, it's 10:30 right now. And when I look at the clock again, it'll be like 1 a.m. or something like that. It's one of those games. It's good. I like that it's kind of slow paced. The pace is slower, and because of that, you have to be a little bit more cerebral, you know. And that's a fun thing. Plus, it's got that classic Fallout isometric view, um, as well as the classic graphics, the classic look to it all. It was just nice. It was just nice as fuck. The fighting is Dark Souls style and Oblivion remaster apparently. Oof. Yeah. Yeah. I don't see how that's gonna work. Granted, I don't know that much about Dark Souls, but I know that the fighting is a little bit wonky. That's what I was able to gather from Dark Souls, is that it was a little bit stilted, specifically because they were trying to make it harder. Oh, excuse me. But yeah. Um. Anyway. Anywho. Oh fuck. I have a wine opener. I have one of these wine openers because any of the other types that I bought have just not worked. So I needed the heavy duty. The one that you like almost feels like a fucking switchblade. Like you play around with it, you're like you're sitting here like that. That's why I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I've just been like that. Bullshit. Nobody liked tactics. I like tactics. Nice squad shooter game. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was a good time. It was a good time. I also gotta check something. See, one of the most annoying things about running a business is you get tons of people who are like they hit you up. You don't cold call. I don't cold call people. Why the hell would I do that? They hit you up like, "Hey, I want more info. Oh, I'd love to come down tomorrow." And then they just don't show up tomorrow. And it's like, "Oh, all right, that's stupid." You know. There's like 4 or 5 people that said they were going to come tomorrow to one of my classes, and I'm hitting them up just to double check, just to make sure. And now I'm like, "Oh, I gotta double check this to make sure they actually saw my shit." you know, running an MMA business is tough. I don't even run a gym, right? And what people default to in the MMA world is teaching kids, because when it comes to kids, parents will force their kids to do martial arts because they excuse me, because of a couple of things. A parent might want their kid to know how to protect himself. They might be having behavioral issues that they don't feel they can or want to try and fix themselves, and because of that, they think, oh, maybe martial arts will fix my kid for me, and also it'll give me a break for an hour or so every day. Um, among some other things, and because of that, they'll force their kid to go, even if their kid's like, I don't wanna, like they'll make their kid do it, at least for a time, at least for a little while, right? So you'll have a constant revolving door of like, kids who like they're trying it out for a couple of months, and by the time those kids leave, you can at least replace them. And then on top of that, you're also gonna have a core group of children who like they really take to it. Maybe their parents really want them to be good, and because of that they put a lot of work into it, and that becomes like a real part of their lives, is Brazilian jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai or whatever, right? Whatever you happen to be teaching. Now the challenge with martial arts, even MMA, which is considered to be like a lot more respectable than like karate or anything like that, um like people are lazy and they're nervous and they don't want to go somewhere where they're going to be humbled all the time and stuff like that. um and like when it comes time to actually get in the car and go, it's like so you get a lot of people who are like, yeah, I want to, and then they just don't. you know um Fucking it's one of those things. It's one of those things. And then you also get people who they would love to go. They would love to do martial arts, and they would be there every single day if it was free. If if it was free, they'd be like, "Fuck yeah, where do I sign up?" You know? And like I see that happen a ton, like it happens with Fish Tank where it's like um season 1, season 2, people had nothing to do. So they're like, whatever, I guess I could do some fucking boxing or some karate or something like that. And they're like, absolutely like, dude, I'm going to go, I'm going to do it, I'm going to go, I'm going to do it. When I get out of here, I'm finding a gym. That's the first thing I'm doing when I get out of here. And maybe they do, but then like they just don't keep up with it, right? And it's because it was free training and they had nothing better to do. That's not a bad thing on their part. They were just trying to stay busy, and why not learn how to protect yourself a little bit better? But then you also have situations where it's like like people you'll give them like a free class or a free week or something like that, or like that is one thing that frustrated me with blood games specifically, is everybody wanted to do martial arts. And the thing is, I charge $60 an hour for private lessons. I don't as much as I love this, I don't do it for free. But in a blood games situation, it's like, whatever, we're trying to do some shit, I guess this is something we can do. So to have one person come to me and they're like, I want to learn martial arts, and then I teach them, and then like as soon as I'm done with that person, somebody else comes over like, oh hey, can I go now? So we do like 20 to 30 minutes, and then after that somebody else comes over, can I go now? That was like a holy fuck moment. I was like, there was a couple of days where I was like, I'm not gonna lie, I was not in a good mood, and that's because so many people came to me like, I want to train, I want to train, I want to train, and I trained with all of them, and I was just like, this is fucking like, no, like I don't feel like doing this anymore. I I don't feel like holding pads and teaching people right now. I wanna like not do this for a while, little BTS from Blood Games 1. Apparently there's Blood Games 2 that's gonna be in the books. I hope I get hit up for that, but I haven't been in contact with anyone so far. That feeling when you took karate. Yeah, man. Dark Souls type stuff is a very disqualifying factor among the gamers. Yeah, like ultra hard video games was a fad. Every video game is a fad to some degree. FPS is always going to be a piece of games that is ever present, and I'm not saying FPS games will go under completely and totally at one point, but like, you have platformers still to this day, but like what AAA game studio is making those? Um at the end of the day, like there was a point for a long time actually. Platformers were popular for a long time, but there was a point where it was just like, oh, we're not doing these anymore because fucking, you know, they're just not popular. It's not what people want. And ultra hard video games are kind of the same thing, where it's like you don't see people bragging about how they did really good on was it Cuphead or something like that. It was like, oh, jeez. It was like a really like that was like a viral, really difficult game from like 2017, 2018. I remember. Or you don't hear them talking about like you know you don't hear them talking about like Dark Souls the way that they used to. You know, I mean, I don't pay that close attention to the video game landscape, so I don't know what games have come out recently that could be Dark Souls esque, apparently. But like, that's kind of my like distant understanding of it all. Is that like Dark Souls and games that were hard on the level of Dark Souls were a fad, and people no longer want to be like, yeah, I know hit beat the entire game on the hardest difficulty, you know, or whatever. I don't think Dark Souls has difficulties, you know. um Honestly think FPS games are slowly dying. Everyone's moving to League of Legends and Dota. I have 9,000 hours in Rust, and getting the fish tank crew on in Rust for a wipe would be funny. Oh, excuse me, I've never played Rust before. I have no clue what Rust even is, if I'm being honest with you. um but like, that's the thing though, is I think FPS games, um I think since the beginning of video games, people were always looking for a way to have first person views so that they can bring themselves a little bit closer to feeling like it's actually them in the game holding the gun and shooting the guy, right? I think that was always something that people wanted, and I think that's always something people are going to want, even though FPS as a genre specifically, well, yeah, I mean FPS like a mil sim type shooters or anything like that, or if you could call Call of Duty a mil sim. I don't know if people would refer to it as that, but Call of Duty, Battlefield type shooters and things like that. They will experience a decline, but I don't think they'll ever completely and totally go away, just because of the fact that they, like I said, they touch on that primal part of our brain that says, I want to actually be the guy with the AR fucking shooting the bad guy and things like that, you know? Um, what was I gonna say? And VR as well. As VR improves, like you will see that more and more, you know, because I do think VR is going to continue to improve. Maybe within the next 5 to 10 years, there might be some great leap in like the availability of some kind of like something that allows you to feel a little bit more in tune with the game and stuff like that. Um, you'll probably see something, but what do I know? I'm just some fucking guy. I don't know anything about that shit. Taylor wants to play Rust with Kyle sometime. By the way, that's pretty cool. Fuck him. I've never played Rust. I don't even know what the hell it is. In fact, why don't I just look it up now? Rust. Rust programming language. A language empowering everyone to build reliable and efficient software. Obviously, that's not really it. Is it this? The only aim in Rust is to survive. Everything wants you to die. Yep. I would assume this is it, right? Explore, build, survive. The only aim in Rust is to survive. Everything wants you to die. The island's wildlife and other inhabitants, the environment, other survivors. Do whatever it takes to last another night. Oh, let's watch the trailer, I suppose. Butt naked. That's your first move, is to pick up a rock. It's pretty funny. Yeah, because that's how that works. Not big on crafting, but I could see why you would need that in this game. Cool. Whoop. So this is post-apocalyptic then, is what this is. Whoops. Oh, you got the grease gun. I mean, this does look cool. This looks interesting. Yeah, I'd probably enjoy fucking around with this a little bit. Raid. Uh-oh. It says I saw something here. It says you will get $100 an hour for babysitting your birth month character. How many hours do you think you'll last? I would get Cartman. I would literally get Eric Cartman. My birth month is November, so there's that. I'd probably just try and like be pals with Cartman more than anything. That's your birth month too, Cherry Blossom? Hell yeah. November bros. Oh, you're November 1st. So you were born a day after Halloween. I was born on November 15th. The Ides of November, if you will. Excuse me. Oh, man.
Before somebody says it, I know that my in-ear monitors are on backwards. I like
fucking some black guy. I have not seen this dude. I have not. Why does propaganda still work today? Because people are fucking stupid. People, we aren't moving forward. We're just moving. You know, it's just funny seeing some black guy. I used to watch this dude, right? I used to watch this dude, like fucking, like probably close to 10 years ago now, like 8-9 years ago, you know, because he was part of that whole like skeptic YouTuber thing that was going on, like let's see, popular, right? 7 years ago, 1.8 million views, right? Fucking 959,000 views. Tanamont, wow, okay, my white privilege, yeah, like. Back when videos like that were doing numbers, he was one of those guys who was like kind of like a B or a C tier skeptic like YouTuber guy who was like, yeah, he was pals with Chris Ray Gun at one point, I guess, you know. One of those dudes who's like, aha, I'm not a snowflake, but also fucking conservative values are like not good either. Like one of those guys, you know. Fucking. Anyway, man, oh man, fucking. What a blast from the past seeing Antifa shit again. Fucking, I mean, again, the video's 7 years old, you know? Video's 7 years old. My white privilege. Uh-oh. Is that something you think you would play with Taylor and Kyle? I mean, yeah, I'd give it a shot. There's plenty of games that I've played that, there's plenty of games that I've played that like Taylor and his friends have put me onto, you know, like Counter-Strike, right? I played Counter-Strike 2 for a little while. There was Lethal Company, AOM. I would have never tried AOM if Taylor and his buddies didn't move over to it, because I was like, oh well, I want to keep on talking to these guys, keep on fucking playing with them. So I guess I'll play some AOM. Maybe I'll like it. Didn't really like it that much, but we ended up switching back anyway, so it was like, whatever, you know? What was I gonna say? Damn it. what the hell was I gonna say? Um, Yo, what's your take on that loser in El Salvador that everyone wants back, even though he's a felon? I don't think I need to have a take on him, but I will say if he's a felon, or a gang member for MS-13, um, excuse me, he needs to stay there. You know, um, like it is what it is. We're reaching the point where we got to stop justifying ourselves to everybody all the time. You have to be able to just look at someone and be like, "No, I believe that. Shut up. Leave me alone. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. I don't know. Shut up. I don't want to hear your fucking bullshit. This is what I believe. That's where it ends. Whatever." You know? Like that's how I had to get with Christianity. It's like I don't hate anybody, but also according to Christianity, homosexuality is a sin. You're not supposed to be doing that. You know, a man is not supposed to lie with a man in that way. Everybody sins, right? Homosexuality is a sin, just like gluttony is a sin, wrath is a sin, etc., etc. So at the end of the day, there's really no reason for me to be like carrying a sign that says God hates, you know. But like it is a sin at the end of the day. I don't need to justify that. God doesn't have to justify anything to you, and I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying this is what God said. So that's my religion. We are talking about my everlasting soul, yours too, but you don't seem to care. I care what happens to mine. So when it comes down to it, nah, I don't want to hear it. Shut up. Homosexuality is a sin. That's what my religion states. It starts and it ends there. It doesn't even matter how I feel about it. Excuse me. And you need to be able to do the same thing with a lot of different things, with fucking a lot of different things, you know? You need to be able to be like, no, he's a felon. Get rid of him. You need to be able to look at the Carmelo Anthony thing and be like, nah, he's a piece of shit. He murdered somebody. I don't care. Fuck off. No, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. Nope. Shut up. Stop talking. Stop talking. Shut up. I don't want to hear it. He's a murderer. He deserves death by fucking execution. Capital punishment. That's what he deserves. I think Texas has that. So give it to him. Throw him in the electric chair. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to hear it. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. That's what he deserves. Eat shit. Because if we're being honest here, that's essentially what the left did for a long time. Not to be a cringe boomer left right politics guy, but that is what the left did for a long time. Was like, again, feelings don't care about your facts. As based and red pilled as old Benji Shapiro is, uh, you get nothing by trying to justify your positions to people that are going to hate you no matter what. You get nothing by trying to explain how your mindset, how your worldview, how your set of principles or beliefs is correct. You get absolutely zero from it, other than people going, I don't give a fuck. You need to realize that when you explain, you lose. You are literally better off doing something and listening to people bitch and moan, and then eventually they'll get over it. Eventually they'll fucking get over it. It happens. That's the way it works. Okay? Um, as exciting as 2016 to 2020 was, with the whole like Antifa versus Proud Boys thing, where we got to watch like a ton of street fights and stuff like that, and there was like some weird spy versus spy shit going on in some cases. As exciting as that was, as fun as that was, all that did was essentially Operation Gladio, the like good guys, Anytime there was a situation where Antifa would like swing a fucking improvised like weapon, like a bike lock, or even throw a literal IED at somebody, like sticking nails inside of a firework, and throwing a bottle rocket inside of the bottle, or whatever, a firecracker or whatever, and tossing it at somebody to create what is a fragmentation grenade. What is an improvised frag grenade, right? Antifa would show up, they'd do that, they'd get their shit pushed in, and then the news and different law enforcement agencies and stuff like that, both federal and local, would use that as a means to like clamp down on the right and things like that, right? You need to well, it's I mean, you do need to do something. And by something, I mean like you need to be smarter than playing into their trap by like allowing yourself in a situation where you're gonna have to beat the fuck out of somebody who threw a firework full of nails at you. Um, but like as fun as it was to watch and as great as it probably felt for those right wingers and stuff like that who beat the fuck out of those Antifa people, at the end of the day, all it did was push the needle further towards the left because they were able to use a lot of that violence as a means of um, forcing the kind of change that they wanted. And then by the time the George Floyd bullshit kicked off, they had already had multiple years of clamping down hard on right wing movements and right wing organizing and things like that. So when they decided to riot, they had basically full strength, and the right wasn't able to defend themselves other than some 17-year-old kid in fucking Wisconsin. In Wisconsin. Um, it just like you what happened is right because like again I'm kind of having a hard time making the point the way that I want it to. There was too much explaining, there was too much trying to be like, no, 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 this is what happened and this is why it happened that way, and this is how you're wrong and this is how we're right and this is how those guys are actually Democrats are the real racists. This is how Democrats are the real racists. There was so much of that going on that was either ignored or utilized as a way to further bolster the left wing point of view, that you need to not play into their hand by one, going to those things in the first place and beating the fuck out of people. And two, you can't be sitting here having a debate with people. You need to with finality be like, no, the guy fucking whatever his name is, Anthony, the guy is a murderer. He deserves the death penalty, capital punishment. I don't give a fuck what you have to say. Eat shit, pussy. You need to be able to do that because it works so much better than anything else you could do. Just saying this is it, fuck off. You know, stop trying to convince the other side that is going to hate you no matter what that actually you're right about something. Stop trying to do that. It doesn't work that way. That's not the way it works at all. You're not dealing with thinking people who are utilizing any form of logic or reasoning. You're dealing with neuroses and trauma. Literally the raped. You're dealing with the raped, as Charles Carroll would say. And these people are just always going to act in accordance with their rape. And well, there it is. You know. Epic rap battles of history: Austin Metcalf versus Carmelo Anthony. Oh boy, oh boy, fuck him. They need to kick out more people. First move in this country is a felon. Uh, is a felony by illegally entering this country. Then why should they stay here? Um, Yeah, I mean, I definitely, I 100% agree with you. I understand prioritizing the, I understand prioritizing the felons first. I understand that. But also, I don't think you should just get to stay here because you came here and you didn't commit a felony, either in your home country or in this country. I don't think that's okay either. I will say there are certain circumstances like this is kind of like having gone through the process with my wife and my brother-in-law. I can say that it's a little bit bullshit because you are in a situation where um you can come here legally and then you can apply to have your visa changed over, or not even just changed over, but you can apply for citizenship based off of a marriage or just for one reason or another. Or when I say citizenship, you can apply for a green card based off of a marriage or some kind of merit, one thing or another, right? And what'll happen is they will review your case. And what's going to happen a lot of the time is they take so long to review your case that your visa is going to run out and you're going to be here legally. And you're in a situation where you technically aren't supposed to be here, but if you leave, then they are going to throw your case out. They're going to be like, "Oh, they're gone. Well, I mean, there's no one here to award a green card to in the first place, so I guess we'll just toss them out." That is one thing you have to be careful of. That with the way the government is, I don't trust them to not fuck that up. I will say. But pretty much every other situation, yeah, I totally agree. I don't think you should be allowed to come here. You and your wife were born in like fucking Mexico or Brazil or wherever. You have a baby here, and then you that baby is an American citizen. I don't think it should work that way. And it's just fucking weird. I think that's more for if you were here legally, you were given a green card, and they just want to make sure that like a baby that's born here from people who plan to stay here for the rest of their lives is a citizen regardless of the status of their parents. But the idea that like you're going to come here illegally, we technically don't know you're here, and you decided you were going to claim asylum when you crossed the border, and now you're having a baby, that's not an American citizen. That is a Salvadorian citizen. That's a Brazilian citizen, and they're going back with you. Like, I genuinely think that's the way it should be. Oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me. You're literally here because an Irish person came here and had a baby. An Irish person came here, fought, and got wounded in the Civil War. And then after he served the country, he became a naturalized citizen. And he also had kids in the meantime. So that's a lot different, High Ecuador. You're pulling. I know you like to be lay epic troll and shit like that, but that's like the most cringe thing you can say. Especially people love to sit here. The Irish are Schrodinger's oppressed, right? 1 minute, oh, the Irish, they know what oppression is. They were kept as slaves, and the British tried to genocide them multiple times. In fact, the potato famine was just one. They had the Ulster plantation, where the British tried to ethnically cleanse and replace the Irish in Northern Ireland with Scottish people, with Scottish-born Protestants. They'll sit there, they'll talk about that, much like iDubbbz, but then they'll also turn around and they'll be like, well, I mean, Irish people are white, but you're white. You benefit from a white system. And you are actually the oppressors because you benefit from that system. And like they'll say that fucking bullshit. And it's like, meanwhile, what did the Irish do when they came here? They didn't ask for government handouts because there were none. You didn't have government handouts back then. That wasn't a fucking thing. You got here and you went to war because that just happened to be the time in the country. And after that, you were basically a shoe-in for American citizenship, is what happened. Like all you had to do was apply, and you would have gotten it. Fucking people show up to a country that they don't have any like blood and soil roots in or anything like that, and they just immediately are like, all right, I guess we're fighting. Oftentimes against the Irish as well, because there were Irish on both sides. Excuse me. There were Irish on both sides in multiple states and things like that. And I'm supposed to sit here and think that like my great great grandfather, um, who was in the West Woods at Antietam, who was in the street fighting in Fredericksburg, who survived the 7 Days battles, etc., etc. I'm supposed to think that he's the same as some fucking guy who came from El Salvador who was a member of MS-13, or like some other fucking guy who's like, oh well, uh, it'll be easier to make money in America, so I guess I might as well. It's like, no, that is not the same thing at all. Even in terms of like seeking asylum, it's like there was a legitimate genocide going on by the British against the Irish, and that's why so many of them fled, because they had to. Versus like literally a move that a lot of Brazilians will do is they'll come here illegally and they'll claim asylum and they'll say, well, you see, I'm gay and I was living in the countryside. Yeah, I was totally living in the countryside. I wasn't living in fucking Rio. or Sao Paulo or anything like that. I was living in the countryside and they threatened to kill me. And instead of just moving into one of the cities where I'm not going to get killed for being gay, I figured I would move continents instead. And like that works. That literally works. If you claim, "Oh, I had to flee Brazil because I'm gay," fucking it works, you know? Like it will help you. Fucking anyway. He came here legally, by the way. Exactly. That's the other thing too, is he came here legally, you know? We believe he landed in Canada and then he made his way down. He made his way down. But you know, you never know. You never know. You never know. Anyway, if you're born on the same soil as me, how can I not accept you as my countryman? Well, because at the end of the day, fucking just because you're born somewhere, it doesn't mean you actually are that. I think I'm more Irish than a black person who was born in Ireland, if I'm just being honest with you. And um, that's because the Irish are more than just fucking people who speak with weird accents and drink beer, right? Now, obviously, culture plays into a piece of that, right? And I will never understand Irish culture on the way that, like, say, a Justin Minx will, right? Um, but at the end of the day, like there is actual Irish DNA in me, as opposed to some dude who moved from like somewhere. He came from like Somalia to fucking Kerry, Ireland. And you know, he had a kid and now that kid's running around like, yeah, I'm Irish. You know, it's like, no, you're not. You will never be Irish. You live in Ireland, but you will never be Irish. Now, when you talk about America, it is actually, if we're being honest here, if we're being serious here, High Ecuador, it is a slightly bigger or a slightly more complicated topic than that, right? Because the American ethnicity, what is that, right? I mean, you could argue that it's the founding stock of Americans, which I actually do have founding stock in me. But you know that's another story. Um, After a while there would end up becoming an American ethnicity, right? So it is a situation where the American ethnicity is forming before our very eyes. And what that's going to be 100 years from now, I couldn't tell you. Beats the fuck out of me. Beats the fuck out of me, man. But regardless, there is an American ethnicity that is forming right before our very eyes. Now, when it comes to somebody who is born here, right? In my opinion, the difference is that somebody comes here legally and they have children. They come here legally, they go through the proper channels, and they have children. Those are my countrymen. Somebody who comes here illegally and has a kid for the express purpose of gaming the system so that they can stay here, no, that is not my countryman. That is somebody who had a kid basically to try and hope and pray that they can avoid accountability for the crime that they committed. And because of that, like, sorry, kid, you know, you didn't ask to be born. We didn't ask for you to be born either. So, sorry, it's time to go. You know? Fucking, it's a complicated subject when it comes to, it's a complicated subject when it comes to talking about, America specifically, right? But at the end of the day, I think there is an argument to be made between legal and non-legal and doing something the right way, doing something the wrong way, right? Um, well, does America belong to the natives, or did the colonizers colonize so hard it could never be the natives anymore? And you see, that's another complicated thing because when it comes to politics, not necessarily politics, but when it comes to relations, foreign relations, world relations, whatever you want to call it, on the international scale, we are living in Ancapistan. You know, Ancapistan exists among countries. The only thing keeping anybody in line is nuclear weapons and the fear that, like, they might not be able to get cheaply made goods from whatever country, you know, produces them and things like that. That's literally it, you know? But at the end of the day, a country could invade another country, and like unless somebody else steps in to stop that, what's anybody going to do about it? Nothing really, you know? So it is a situation where the natives, they don't own the country anymore. We own the country because our ancestors fought and died for the right to have this country, to have this land. We fought and we died for it. We spilled not just their blood, but our own blood as well. Now, when it comes to the case of like an ethnic cleansing or something like that, like what's going on in a lot of Europe and Ireland, and even a little bit here, but it's especially noticeable in a country like Ireland, where they don't even have the population of my home state of Massachusetts. Um, those people who are replacing them do not become Irish. Maybe in the modern sense of like, oh, Ireland is a country. It's not a nation. It's not a people. It's just a country. Excuse me. Those people might want to call themselves Irish. They might want to call themselves the country of Ireland, but they're not. They're just people who replaced the Irish, you know? It's like I'm trying to think. The Romans, right? Rome started off as one city. It was essentially a city state, and slowly but surely they conquered the entirety of the Italian peninsula, and then they moved on from there. Excuse me. On the Italian peninsula, when they conquered another tribe, they didn't start calling themselves the Romans and the other tribe. They just started calling themselves the Romans. They ended up integrating. Right? They ended up integrating. Or not integrating, but they ended up taking over those tribes. They ended up taking over that land, and because of that, that tribe ceased to exist. That tribe was integrated into the victorious tribe. And the unfortunate reality of what's happening, and this is not a black pill thing. I don't think it's going to last forever and ever. But the unfortunate reality of what's happening is the Irish are being ethnically replaced. So are the British, right? You know, the English, the Scottish, Welsh, etc., etc. And when it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. There will be a pushback. If you don't think there's gonna be a real pushback, you don't understand the way that people and societies and history works. But let's say there was no pushback, and they were pretty much like ethnically replaced to the point where they were like, I don't know, like 5 or 10% of the population or less. Those people who replace them, even if they try to call themselves Irish, they will not be Irish. It's just a fact of the matter, you know. They might genuinely start calling themselves something different. You never know, though. You know, you never know. Would it be a closer fight than it should, to be honest? I don't know about that one. You know. Scott Sullivan versus Conor McGregor rap battle MMA fight for the presidency. Hell yeah. I'm going to be the T-Shock. What's going on, Bonjour Skeet? Feels like it's been a little while. Oh yeah, baby. Like I was just telling them, didn't somebody tell you when you first came here that you should tell the government you're gay because it would give you like automatic asylum here?
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that happened like once or twice, right?
It happened once, and somebody else, it was something about like being discriminated in my country. Or maybe if it was being related to gay. It was something about being violent.
Yeah. I mean, it wouldn't even have been a lie. You could have just been like, I am gay. And they would have been like, I know. I knew right when you walked in. My wife is she's having a good time tonight. I love you. But Bonjour Skeet says, what do you think of women being in the entertainment industry? I feel like that's the reason entertainment sucks nowadays. Women being in the entertainment industry doesn't make it suck. I think in some cases it makes it better, but it depends on what they're doing. And obviously what a lot of women are doing in the entertainment industry today is like an awful fucking thing. You have a lot of attention that's paid to the Cardi B types, you know, talking about WAP and my pussy, yeah, my pussy. This pussy You got them doing that all the time, right? Fucking those are the obvious ones. Those are the ones that are real easy to talk about and stuff like that. And those little vile, disgusting women. It's not a bad thing to be disgusted by some of the behavior a lot of women will do. You know, a lot of people, a lot of coon-brained, safe, horny motherfuckers. You know, they try and parlay their weird perversions into some kind of fucking girl power thing. You don't need to be that way. It doesn't need to be like that. You know, fucking be disgusted by women sometimes. It's a very healthy thing. It's a very good thing. It lets women know, oh, ooh, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this shit anymore. But anyway, what I especially cannot stand are the Taylor Swift and Olivia Rodrigo type people. And I don't know that much about Olivia Rodrigo. I just remember there was a song that I saw from her where the premise of the song was basically like, here's all the reasons you won't get to fuck me, talking about a guy that like I don't know if it was a guy that she just like had a disdain for that like liked her or something like that, or if it's that it was a guy that she was kind of, you know, feeling, but he did something that gave her the ick and now she's writing a song about it. I don't know what the premise of that song was supposed to be, but um the reinforcing of the female ego that someone like Olivia Rodrigo or like a Taylor Swift does is so disgusting to me. And it's funny because you see a lot of women who complain about like guy podcasts like Joe Rogan and stuff like that, but then they fucking sit there and they listen to Taylor Swift talk all about how men are awful and like, you know, they're never the problem in relationships. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan, what is that? Dude, what if red meant go? What if red meant go? That'd be crazy. Yeah, have you ever seen an ape before? Like that's Joe Rogan, and women can't fucking stand that shit. Meanwhile, all of their media, especially their music and their podcasts for that matter, is like men are actually pigs and they're bad all the time, no matter what. You never do anything wrong in your life, but also you're a stupid bitch. But it's like actually one of your redeeming qualities. It's actually like a really fun, funny thing about you. I can't take you anywhere. You're a stupid bitch. That's so fun and funny. You're so quirky. It's gross. And that is, I don't know if I dislike that archetype more or less than the Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Lil Kim, like my pussy type of shit. I don't know which one of those I dislike more because on one hand, the my pussy bitches, um, yeah, like they're bad, but everybody kind of knows that, and like it's like a disgusting thing, and a lot of women who dance to that shit, they're just bad women in the first place. It's very rare that you'll see a woman who is like halfway worthwhile, who is like actually going to seriously like take it that seriously. Who's gonna seriously take it that seriously? Jeez. Um, but like with that whole Taylor Swift thing, um, it's teaching women to have unrealistically high standards and to take their trauma out on guys that are around them, and it's totally fine, it's totally cool, it's actually a good thing. And that is such a disgusting thing, you know. um we don't teach women how to be team players anymore. We don't teach women how to be lovable. We don't teach women how to be loved, and we don't teach women how to love, you know. We used to teach women in school how to be good wives. That's what home economics was. We used to show them infomercials, not infomercials, but informational like movies or TV shows or like, you know, VHSs or whatever, right? About like how to be a good wife, how to be someone who is like capable of being loved. And they don't do that kind of thing anymore at all, you know? Fucking, and because of that, it's extremely, extremely hard to be with women, and that is not a mistake. They did not do that by mistake. It is on purpose, completely and totally, that they decided they would do that type of shit. Um, it was very, very, very deliberate attack, very deliberate and very well planned attack. You know, um, Rusty Corvine, yo Scott, I know I always bug you with MMA questions, but you've given me the best advice. I was rolling with a purple belt. He snapped and tried to break my leg after I tapped, then hit me in the face. What a fucking asshole. I swear I didn't do anything disrespectful. I asked the other guys and they said he's just like that. Should I steer clear or just learn to deal with being mauled? You should fucking leave that gym if that's gonna be everybody's response. Is like he's just like that. He's just like that. He's just like that. You know. That's a problem we have at my gym, if I'm being honest with you. Like, if I'm being 100% honest. And my coach only recently started to kind of realize how bad of a problem that is, and he only just recently was like, okay, I'm going to take a more active role in trying to facilitate healthy roles, right? Because I've snapped on people before, but not because, like, I lost, but because it's one of those situations where it's like, hey, you want to roll light? Yeah, let's roll light. Slap hands, fist bump, and bang, tries to fucking kill me immediately. And I'll be sitting there, they'll like just all sorts of roughhousing, like fucking shoulder to the head, going too hard on the shoulder pressure, not just like putting it down and squeezing hard. I mean like bam, like that down on your head, fucking like spazzy, like knee to the head. Fucking somebody gets you in the groin or something like that. Fucking elbow to the ribs type shit. Like that type of fucking shit. And for a long time, I don't think my coach truly understood like just how bad that is for the environment when like you have people that are like that and you don't do anything about it. You don't say anything about it to somebody, you know? And it made it so that I didn't want to roll for a while. I didn't want to like be there for a while, and I took a break from jujitsu because I was just tired of it. I was like, dude, every time I come here, I leave with some kind of weird mark on my face, and it's because somebody who thinks that they're just doing what they're supposed to do is not doing what they're supposed to do because they're hyper competitive and they don't realize it. You know, like when you go with somebody, when you roll with somebody and they try to kill you, and then after the roll you're like, hey man, you got to learn to chill, take it easy, relax, just flow roll. And their response to that is, yeah, but that, I mean, going hard is the only way that I can do good. When they hit you with that, it's like, okay, so you're not interested in actually improving, you're interested in the instant gratification of, haha, yeah, I was totally able to try and wrench that armbar. Fucking, that's what you're interested in. That is a toxic person. It doesn't matter how nice of a guy they are. It doesn't matter that they like show up every day and they're like, hey man, how's it going? Haha, good to see you, bro. Oh dude, that's a toxic person that you need to either have a serious conversation with or you need to remove him from the gym. And if that guy does not get removed, then people are going to start removing themselves. And I think you should remove yourself, Rusty, if I'm being honest with you. If that's their response is just, that's just how he is. All right, well, I'm just going to leave. If that's just how he is, I'm just going to leave and I'm going to find a new spot. If you can find a new spot, I would highly recommend that. And if if you cannot find a new spot and you're that desperate to keep training, don't roll with that guy. Straight up tell him, nah, I don't think I want to roll, because that's fucked up, you know? He's rolling with you and he fucking I don't know, maybe he just didn't get over on you like he wanted to. Maybe you're improving and he's not able to like beat your ass like he used to, and that pissed him off. He's rolling and he tries to fuck you up like that. He tries to snap your leg and then punch you. Like, no, that dude should have been told to leave immediately. That's not oh, it's just how it is. That's a leave immediately, you know? It's like, holy fucking shit. I am much larger than him, and I tried to apologize for whatever pissed him off, but he started hitting me in the face while I was in a knee bar. I assumed Napoleon syndrome. Yeah, there is a lot of that in the jiu-jitsu world, and I'm not saying that is definitely what it is, but you would be surprised how many smaller guys have, like, that Napoleon complex, you know? But, like, you see that a lot in jiu-jitsu, where, like, people can't stand getting stacked. They're not good enough to stop from getting stacked. They can't help but get stacked, but they can't stand it. And instead of being like, oh, hey, maybe I should get better so that I don't get stacked anymore, right? I'll show you guys what stacking is. I'll show you guys what a stack is, right? Jiu-jitsu stack. Right? Bada bing, bada boom. This is the stack right here, right? You see how this dude is getting folded in half? Looks like he's about to suck his own dick. That's a stack. It looks like, oh no, I thought he might have an armbar in, but he doesn't. Like, you see so many smaller guys who, because like they're not good enough to keep from being stacked by a larger guy, or like because they're not good enough to have whatever weird wormhole, butt grab guard to fucking penis plata, right? Whatever weird jujitsu type bullshit that they've been practicing for a long time, they're not good enough to make it work on a guy who's bigger. They start talking about, oh, dude, all he does is fucking pressure pass. That dude isn't even that good at jujitsu. He all he does is try and stack people all the time. He doesn't know 50-50. He doesn't know how to do 50-50. He doesn't know how to do an inverted nutsack tickle. He doesn't know how to do any of that. His jujitsu sucks, dude. That's a cope that a lot of small guys do because they're bullshit. Like, you have to play my game jujitsu moves. Don't work on guys who, one, don't have to go along with it because like you can't jump guard and not expect to get slammed. But then two, you also like you are able to just be like, nah, I'm taking your legs and I'm putting them fucking right here. You know? It's so ridiculous, man. It's so fucking ridiculous, dude. But yeah, get the hell out of there, dude. Get the motherfucker out of there. If they're not gonna have a conversation with that guy, leave. Just leave. You know? He was made a blue belt. Blue belt, what the fuck? He was made a purple belt, right? That's at least 5 years. That's it. At the least, at the very least, that is 5 years of that guy training. At least. Right? If he got his purple belt in less than 5 years, that'd be fucking insane. That'd be like the craziest fucking thing, you know? So I'm going to assume he's been training for at least 5 or 6 years. For 5 or 6 years, he's been snapping on people and trying to hit them in the face because, like, he tried to do some kind of De La Hiva and it didn't work the way he wanted it to, right? Sore sport, and he's dangerous. And because of that, like, I think if there was going to be a change, it would have happened by now. Whether it was they kicked him out or they had a conversation with him and he was like, oh man, I better shape up. It's probably not going to happen. It's probably not going to fucking happen, you know? So yeah, you know? These are Nate Diaz's boys. I'll go back to Florida soon. Oh yeah, and that's probably part to do with it, you know, is that it's probably one of those environments where, like, for one thing, it's a very it's going to be a very it's going to be a very competitive environment in the first place because I'm sure it's a bunch of dudes that are trying to fight or at least compete in some form. But then on top of that, you have that, like, you know, that fucking you have a lot of people who they probably walk in wanting to impress one of the Diaz brothers if they're even there all the fucking time, you know? And because of that, they're like, oh, if I get really mad and I start being a fucking asshole, I'm sure Nate will be like, you're all right. Fucking, whoa, dude, sometimes I feel like I can do a good Nate Diaz. Other times I'm like, no, that's a shitty one, you know? Anyway, you should make a video directed towards him about the future of combat sports, like how Sam did with the Dear Elon video about America. About who? About who? Fucking the guy that Rusty Corvine's asking me about. Anyway, fucking PK recently had a gambling personality on, and he was talking about how in the old days in poker they would wear crazy clothes and try and throw you off, show up to the gym in a dress. That might be a winning strategy, Rusty. That might be a winning strategy, Rusty Corvine. I think you might want to listen to Bonjour Skeet about this one, you know? Oh man. My throat is like hoarse. I can feel my throat is a little hoarse, you know? Man. Just looking around. Tolerance of fools, etc., etc. Exactly, OP. Yeah. some people just don't want to lose, right? And I mean, don't get me wrong, nobody wants to lose, but some people are just not good at accepting that, you know. And I was lucky enough to have coaches as well as a mindset that was conducive to not being a fucking asshole, but not everybody has that. And I actually kind of had the inverse problem where I had a hard time asserting myself, where it's like, "Oh, this guy's trying to kill me. I guess I'll just play defense, you know, cuz I don't want to hurt him and I don't want to escalate this." Now I'm like, "Oh, this guy's trying to hurt me. I better fucking sling head kicks at him," you know? That's the way I am about it now. I could give a shit if I'm being honest with you, you know? Oh, excuse me. Um, but like, other than that, you know, just because something doesn't work, whether it's because somebody's bigger and stronger than me, or if it's because like, you know, I'm just not that good at what I was trying to do, or whatever it was, you know. Like I've never been someone who's like, oh, that's that guy's fault. I'm mad at him now, and I'm gonna like try and fight him. That's not the way it works, you know. Get stacked by a 6 foot 210 in a sundress. Exactly. Fuck him. What's going on, Chef? What's poppin', Scott? Watched your content caught mini review earlier today. Couldn't have made your point better. Good video. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. We got about 20 minutes till the 2 hour mark. I'm not saying I'm going to end this right at the 2 hour mark, but I think I'll probably go ahead and I'll play a game or two of AoE and we'll see how that goes. I honestly don't. Excuse me. I honestly don't really have any good advice. This would never happen to me because I have big muscles like a cop or a marine. Exactly. You can also carry a gun too. I've been on a bit of a cold streak lately, if I'm being honest with you. It's kinda annoying. Um, Sorry, I was checking something here. Yeah, like I said, I've been on a bit of a cold streak. I've been doing something that like you know, I've been doing something where I just my times are up, not down. My times are up, meaning like my time from um feudal age to castle age is up, and it's kind of annoying, you know. I'll go ahead and I'll chill on my phone for a second because I want to make sure of some shit. I gotta make sure of some shit. All right, we got ourselves some schmarina. Go with the usual, the old reliable here. Oh damn. Celts versus Goths. CH Ninny Muggins. Holy fuck. What a name. What a name. You know, I'll throw this in too, just in case. Oh. What the hell? Oh man, I can't hear anything. I literally cannot hear a thing. That sucks. I'm gonna see if I can't fix that. There it is. I hit the old unplug and plug. Just in case, okay. I got to do a call-in stream soon is what I got to do. Like I've said it a million times. You guys are tired of hearing it by now, but like I just haven't had the time to be putting a ton of thought into this. I'm mostly doing it out of habit as well as outlet by now, you know. like this is partially an outlet for me. It's a fun way for me to kind of like talk to some people in real time about what's going on in the world and play off of each other and stuff like that. Um, but like it would be nice to have a call-in stream again on the Sooner side. I haven't done one of those in a long time. It's in the way that you use it. Alright, so let's go bang, bang. Want to try and find him ASAP. Oh man, I put one of my houses right next to my berries. That's fucking annoying. Nobody's right. Feel somebody's wrong. Would you goon it? I think the real question is, what wouldn't I goon? No, but honestly, like, it's crazy what happens when you give up porn and when you, like, give up, like, doing what you do to porn. When you give up gooning, it's crazy what happens when you give that up, Like, you really don't realize how much that affects you. And, like, oh, yeah, fuck, got 1, 2, 3. Sorry. It's like you realize just how much of sexuality is like just it's forced on you by some kind of trauma or some kind of like whatever, and it's just kind of a crazy thing to think about when like specifically when it's like, oh, I'm going no fat for a month or like whatever like that, because that's what I gave up for Lent, if I'm being honest with you guys. Oh, excuse me. I am just a man. I have vices. I have things and places where I fall short of the glory of God, of the expectations of God. Um, and that's one of them, if I'm just being honest with you guys. It's not something I like, I'm going to shout to the heavens or anything like that, but it's also just like, whatever. Like, I'm not perfect, and just the month and a half that I gave that up for has been like eye-opening, because the thing is, like, you don't have to do it every single fucking day. You don't have to legitimately be addicted or anything like that. I'm not an addict of that nature, but like just when you have that option and you use it even like twice a week, let's say, it it has a real effect on you. It really changes. Damn, I thought I saw a fucking I thought I saw his scout in my base. I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, it has a real effect on you though, and you don't know. It's like weed. When you're smoking weed all day, you're like, ah, dude. Nah, actually, weed helps me out, dude. Weed keeps me sane. That's what ends up happening. Yes, we're good. That like, and yeah, when you smoke weed all day, right? When you smoke weed all day, every day, you have this attitude towards it a lot of the time where you're like, nah, dude, actually, weed keeps me sane, bro. It actually helps me out, dude. Dude, totally, bro. You have that kind of attitude towards it, and when you stop smoking weed, you tend to have a moment where you're like, oh, damn, like, no, actually, I am like so much better without this shit. I just didn't realize how fucked I was in the first place. You know, that's what ends up happening with it. Uh, and you see, this is part of the reason why I'm having bad times, because I'm not ready to go by the time my last my last gold miner is out. Hi, Scott. Oh, his scout just wanted a Capri Sun from the fridge. That's what it was. He's just grabbing a quick beverage before he goes back to his room. Why does your base have an Indonesian flag on it? Which one? This? Do you mean that right there? Is that an Indonesian flag? Oh, fuck. Yeah. See, this guy's already a little bit ahead of me when he shouldn't be. You know, the thing that I have going for me here, which by the way I need to yeah, let's go 1, 2, 3. The thing I have going for me is the Celts is I have good siege. So I can plant a castle, make a couple of rams, and I can fucking blast right through his wall and absolutely fuck him up. But that's no guarantee, you know. Levitation becomes real and shit. You just see me like this, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's not even in frame. Oh, 1, 2, bada bing, bada boom. You guys, and then 1. Oh, nope. 2, 1, 2. Oh yeah, and then I need to go. Probably go here. There too. Just to be sure. Another thing about the Celts is you can't drive chickens. I mean, you kind of can, but it's pointless because there's so many of them and they have so little food per. It's pointless to try and drive all of them. That's part of the reason why they did that, is because they wanted to clamp down on actually being able to drive the what are you doing? They wanted to clamp down on being able to drive the wildlife and shit like that, you know? There we go. Oh, man. Again, just idle time. No bueno. Oh, on the walls. Oh, you mean that? That's not an Indonesian flag. That's from season 1 of Fish Tank. Josie made that. I was supposed to have bought that off of her for 12 bucks with fuck 20 bucks, but I don't think she gave a fuck after a while that I never paid her for it, because I mean, after all, she won what was it, $50,000 or something like that. So I don't think 20 bucks was really that much of an object to her. But yeah, I was supposed to have bought that off of her. Technically, you know, I didn't. I just kind of took it. Oh, on the fortified walls in the game. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Beats me. Beats me. Yeah, you know what? I need to go bang. I forget who he's even playing as. I wish he would come near me. Oh, no, wait. I can just... Goths. I think Goths get infantry. Goths get, like, decent infantry, so... Come on, baby. Hurry the fuck up. The hell happened to my fucking... Oh. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a defensive castle down instead of an offensive one, you know? My shit will be able to get there quick anyway. Then I'll take these, put them there. Oh, wait. Fuck. I play so much GeoGuessr. Oh boy. Yeah, I did GeoGuessr a couple of times. Embarrassed myself thoroughly. Alright, 1, 2. I'm gonna go 1, and then the second one's gonna be there. Come on. There we go. There was 2 that I was gonna do something with. I forget what. Oh yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. Then you idiots, get your asses over there. One, 2, 3, and oh damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Son of a gun. Ah well. At least I can see how he's doing right now. Yeah, I mean he's still only in feudal age. There's absolutely nothing he's gonna be able to do in feudal that is gonna stop me. So, I don't want to take him too lightly, but I want to try and practice making sure my vil counts are up. So, I'm probably not going to absolutely try and like kill him right away. Cuz that's really why I have a hard time with a lot of these things is because my vil counts are always fucked, I have 41 vils right now and I need a lot more than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bang, 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 bang. So 5, 10, 15, 30. Okay, so that's about 95 potential vills that I can get. 2. I should probably put up another one just to see what I can get away with. We will go here. I see now he's at castle, so now I will start to get a little bit worried if I'm being honest with you. I won't be too worried though because as long as I keep my eco producing, I'll be in all right shape. Damn it. Which fuck, I never got double bit. I took it for granted. I never got double bit axed, so now I have reached a little bit of a bottleneck, and that's part of my problem. Oh, it's 50 wood. I need fucking 50 wood. That's what I need. See, luckily for me, I'm about to get a ton of gold because I have pretty much all of the oh. Well, let's hope and pray that I can get there unharmed. Ah, son of a bitch. Son of a fucking bitch. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Let's see what I can do. They're having a hard time catching up. Oh, no. No, they're about to catch up. Yep. No, that's alright. See if I can't do something about that there. Oh. Go there. So yeah, I mean, our scores are about even right now. I don't have any military, and he's got like a little bit of military, I guess. So like that kind of is okay. If I see his score go up a little bit too high, I'll know that he's prioritizing military, which means I'm gonna have to make my own. And speaking of which, Yeah, you know what? Okay, bang. Oh, here we go. Whatever, bro. Whatever, bruh. Oh, damn it. Get your ass over there. You stooge. Sorry if I'm a little quiet. I'm just kind of trying to lock in a little bit. Oh. All right, sick. Oh. Oh, fucking asshole. Whatever. Oh, okay, so. See, that castle drop was kind of stupid. You know? Oh. Oh, better go here. Let's go one. That thing's gonna be down in no time, you know? Oh, you see, he's going fucking whatever it's called. That is a little bit nerve-wracking for me, I will say, but I think I'm still pretty much okay for the most part. You know? Hmm. Okay. Alright. No, you fucking idiots. Wait, there's no crop rotation physics? Yeah, yeah. I feel like there was crop rotation when I was younger. Like I'm pretty sure there actually was crop rotation, you know? All right, so you know, I have so much gold. I'm gonna just go ahead. Oh fuck, yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, I don't know if this guy's score is a lot higher because he's gonna be like on his way up soon. Beats the hell out of me. All I know is that I want to make sure that like I don't even have that enabled. First off, here, and then there, and then you go here, and then you go there, and you guys here. So yeah, what I'll do is that way anything that's over there I'll be able to fuck with too. I just gotta hope and pray that I'm able to put this thing up, which I think I should. Once I get to imp, it's over. You know, if I can get to imp in that amount of time, you know, it'll be over. Hell yeah, perfect, perfecto. Hmm. See how he all of a sudden he's fucking panicking now? Need murder holes just in case. Oh wait, see? As soon as imp hits, I'm making fucking mad treads. Because if I can take out, like, he's holding on to this castle with everything he's got, specifically because he knows that once that castle is gone, he's gone. There ain't nothing he's got anymore, you know? Um, oh, that's cute. That's cute. That's cute. That's adorable. Isn't that just freaking adorable? He didn't even put it. He didn't even put it in a spot to take down this gate. That's the best. That's the best part about it. Interesting. Fuck. Damn, I have 0 food. Hmm. Sick. We fucking them up now. I don't even have upgraded anything. I gotta upgrade the fuck out of these bad Larrys. Want to see if I can't get the jump on these 3 guys right here and then maybe catch them. Yep. Got him. Uh-oh. Run, guys. All right, so I do gotta kind of get a move on just a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll just move this way a little bit so that I can get an idea of which way to, or how I'm gonna do this. Then suppose I should, you know, because I'm probably not going to win this. I'm probably not going to win this exchange. I can at least try and take a TC from him, I suppose. What are you fucking idiots doing? Yeah, there we go. And then if I can get them back into safety, then that's even better. But that probably won't work. No, actually, I'll probably lose 1, maybe 2. No, I'm good. You see, that wasn't a bad trade. That wasn't a bad trade. You know, I was able to take out a TC, and you know these bad Larrys are cheap. They are cheapo depot. These fucking champions, you know. So I'm in good shape. What I'd like to do if I can at some point, well, you know, first off, 1 and 2. Bang. Bang. What I'd like to do at some point is build a castle right here as well. That way I don't have to worry about it a ton. You know, we'll see though. Fuck it. And then where did I put it? There it is. Researching chemistry because I forget which one of those, because even though Celts aren't a gunpowder sieve, I'm trying to make sure of like which one is, you know. Come on. Whoa. Okay. Oh, wait a second. No, let's bring some of these bad Larrys over there. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be great if... Oh, no. Oh, come on, man. Are you fucking kidding me? Great. Fucking fantastic, bro. No, you idiots. Oh, my gosh. Alright, there we go. That wasn't a bad trade, I suppose. Oh, well, that's pretty stupid. That's pretty stupid of him. Just tell me I'm gonna get that one. Maybe not. That's alright, though. That is A-okay. Yeah, so let's see the rest of the map. I hate Arena. Yeah, well, I love Arena. Yeah, so a couple of things I'm trying to get better at. One, Vil count. I had 127 Vils, and I don't know if that was my high or not. I've been advised by a shadowy figure that I should have around 130 Vils. And I'll basically be unbeatable at my elo. Because my eco will just be too much. I'll be too much of a powerhouse eco wise, and yeah, I mean it helped. It definitely helped. What's it called? I completed what 3 castles. You know, I could have gotten more too if I had finished this up and maybe gotten this. Another thing I was trying to go for, and that I've been trying to go for, is center map control. I'm trying to build out a little bit more. If I don't straight up just castle drop somebody, like I'll drop a castle right in front of here. That way, if somebody wants to try and get at me, they'll have to go all the way around, which gives me a head start on completing the castle. But in addition to that, I will also build out from my arena. Like I said, I'll take center map, and that's what I did here. Is I started out with a defensive castle. He castle dropped me, which I didn't actually expect because we are kind of a little bit far from each other. But he castle dropped me nonetheless. And once I took down that castle and the one that he put here, I put that one. No. I put this one out here as a backup for this one, so that there would be 2 angles on that castle. I was trying to box that castle out essentially. And then he put one here kind of as like a mirror, but he didn't put it close enough here. And if he had put it there, right, he would have actually had a pretty good time, right? When I say here, I don't mean like here. What I mean is if he had put it close enough as to where it could have attacked my gate, then he would have had a slightly better time, because he put it there at a point where I didn't have a ton of military ready to go. Especially a lot of it was over here. I would have had to pull it out that way. So if he was able to take this gate down with either a petard or just with arrows, he would have been able to send shit in, and he would have been able to fuck up a lot of my eco. But he didn't do that. He placed it a little bit too far, literally 1 tile too far from where it would have been able to do that, But as soon as I was able to get center map control, I did. I started building out here. I built 4 barracks. If I needed to, I probably could have built more out here as well, And yeah, that was a pretty good game, It wasn't as quick as a lot of the games where I tend to like absolutely fucking wreck somebody, but it was a more technically sound game in my opinion, and that's what I'm going for, Do you know of any good AoE 2 videos on YouTube? 3 Clicks Philip has some good videos about it back in the day, but he doesn't really play it anymore. Not really. I know Taylor watches a lot of Hera. He also watches a lot of, I think his name's Viper and stuff like that. I don't watch this game like that. I love the fuck out of this game, but I'm not like into it on the level where I want to study it. I have too much other shit going on that I need to, devote my brain power to. So however slow of a time it takes, I'll go ahead and I'll learn through the school of hard knocks instead of studying up on the guys that make like millions of dollars a year playing. It is what it is. It is what it is. I've never played AoE. Is it better than old school Cossacks? I don't know what old school Cossacks even is. Fuck. I'm getting a cold. I'm catching a cold. I don't even know what that is, so I couldn't tell you if I'm being honest with you. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I don't know. But you know what? I'll probably end it here. I appreciate you guys for popping in. All right. Actually, hold on. Before I end it, all right, let's go ahead and look, right? So his society bonus was actually a lot bigger than mine. I'm wondering what that was, or his society score. But my military, economy, technological. So let's see here. Relics captured. I captured all 5. You see, he built 5 castles. I destroyed 3 out of 5 of them. No, fuck. What am I talking about? Damn. I built 3 castles. Duh, what the hell? And he built 5 castles, and that's probably why his society is better than mine, because he built the more castles than mine, 2 more castles. But my Ville high was 128. His was 125. So we were actually pretty evenly matched the entire game up until I started taking over, and that was mainly because of my troop composition that I was beating them back. Because the Goths and the Celts are not that much different from each other. It's good to have their unique infantry and then back them up with some kind of siege, specifically like scorpions, or if somebody is using bowmen, you can use mangonels or onagers or something along those lines. So that's why we were so evenly matched for so long, score wise. Technology, Imperial Age. I hit my imp at 38. He hit it at 42. He hit his castle age at 22. I hit mine at 17, which is not amazing. I guess a 15-minute castle age is something to shoot for, apparently. So I'm 2 minutes off myself. My feudal age was 11 minutes. So, he actually hit his feudal a full minute and change before I did. Now, military units, 144 killed. I lost 56. I raised 9 buildings. Fucking lost no buildings. Our largest armies were the same, 68 and 68. Where's Why do I feel like I was looking at something else? The timeline is fun to look at too, but we don't got to look at that a ton. Okay, anyway. Anywho, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna head out. Okay. As usual, I appreciate you guys being here. I might stream tomorrow, maybe, possibly. We'll see. All right. I got to figure some shit out, and yeah. So I love you.